Let's be honest, not everyone will love my recipes. But when I find one that I am completely satisfied with, I call it my last keto. Well, you could just fill in the blank. Now, let's make this game-changing low-carb tortilla. Now, if you want a thicker tortilla, just double your almond flour and it will come out like this. Now for this recipe, you'll need Bragg's nutritional yeast, and we will be using 1/2 teaspoon of that. Next, you'll need coconut flour, and if you're worried about coconut flour affecting the taste, I wouldn't, because this recipe only requires 1 teaspoon. Now you don't have to be a chef to know almost every good recipe requires some salt, and we'll only be using a little bit. You'll need 1/4 teaspoon. Next, you'll need sifted almond flour, and I'm not telling you not to worry about oxalates, but I will say most of the oxalates are in the skin of the almond. We're going to be using 1/2 cup, but you can add more for a thicker tortilla. Now, in your NutriBullet or food processor, give the mixture a couple quick pulses, then shakes. The goal here is just to make sure everything is well incorporated. It's important not to overdo this step. Now it's time for the wet ingredients. You'll need 1/4 cup cold water, followed by 1/3 cup egg whites, which can be fresh or from the carton. Now, I understand that not everyone can afford this next ingredient, but don't worry, I have keto tortilla recipes without it. However, this egg white powder is a game changer, and for this recipe, you'll be needing 3 tablespoons. Now, when combining egg white powder with liquids, I've found they don't always mix smoothly. So here's a pro tip. Use your mixer along the edge of the bowl to push the dry powder back into the wet egg whites. Once it looks mostly combined, you can increase the mixer speed. Keep mixing it until you reach stiff peaks, just like you see here. Now let's go back to those dry ingredients we set aside. Make sure to sift them, as sifting will ensure a smooth, consistent mixture and prevent any clumping of strong flavored or overpowering ingredients. Once I've sifted most of it, I will gently use my hand to press the larger clumps through the screen. Then I will wipe the base of the screen, flip it over, and give it a quick tap. Now go ahead and mix this well. You don't have to worry about over mixing these egg whites because it does not have that high fat content that is in some of my pork rind recipes. Keep mixing it till it reaches a nice smooth consistency. As I've mentioned in prior videos, this is an electric tortilla press, and while it gets bad reviews on Amazon because of how flimsy it is, most people are trying to make traditional heavy tortillas. My batter is very thin and requires little pressure. Now, if you have or purchase an electric tortilla press, I recommend you begin by using the lowest setting. Now, I like to use a large scoop for my batter. It makes the perfect size tortilla for me. And as I said earlier, notice I don't even have to use the handle to press this down. My tortilla batter is so light I can use my thumbs to press it out. Or, if I choose, I can use the handle as well. Take a look at these. These are my thin tortillas. Like I mentioned earlier, you can make them thicker if you prefer. Now here's another thin tortilla. Now let me show you how to make these without a press. We'll just pretend this is your grill or your frying pan. Now give it a healthy dose of oil or butter. Additionally, I place my parchment paper over it so it gets buttered as well. Now these require a little more batter, so go ahead and add a little more batter than you would with a thin tortilla. Then place your oiled parchment paper over it and gently tap it down, trying to keep it in a circular pattern. Then take a large spatula, press it out, keep pressure on it, remove the wax paper, give it a good flip, and repeat the process. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.